welcome to the big raise for the Healthcare Foundation in Newfoundland. I want to tell you, this is a great event to be at. I'm Alan Dale from Gale Force Wins. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you're all about?
Well, thanks so much for speaking with me. My name is Rylan Kinnon. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Spaces Shared. Spaces Shared is an intergenerational home share platform that makes it easy for older adults that have a spare room to share it with a student. We verify the student's identity. We verify the host's identity. We ensure the student is a student. We ensure the host lives at the address. And we facilitate the whole process through our platform, from creating your listing to meeting with the student, to understanding how well you do or do not match with that student, to having a video conversation, to entering into a home share agreement, to making payments and receiving payments.
Oh, wow. What an incredible service. And
thank you.
So important right now when how we live in Canada, and not just the housing challenges, but that intergenerational contact has got to be incredibly rewarding. Tell me about that piece of it.
So part of what we saw, the opportunity and the need, to be honest, was students are coming to communities, whether they're Canadian or they're international. They don't necessarily have a touch point in the community. They can't find a safe and affordable room. Similarly, older adults may have challenges with connection. They may have challenges with their fixed income. They may need some very basic help around the house that a student could provide. So we like to say these are two populations that have so much to offer one another. And I've seen there's been really great coverage. Well, I say great, but it's sad coverage of the loneliness challenge in Newfoundland and Labrador in particular this past week. And we know these relationships can be so meaningful for both the students and the hosts who participate in them. So we're really just trying to make intergenerational living normal in Canada in a way that it is normal in many other parts of the world.
Rylan, where does the idea and the concept come from, and where has it been proven in Canada already and now coming to Newfoundland?
So it has been proven in Canada over and over again. But typically it's been through a non-profit model, government-funded manual matches, and they all kind of have the same story, unfortunately. Someone thinks it's a good idea because it's a great idea. They match a few students and a few seniors together. They have very meaningful relationships, but they never achieve the scale or volume that their funder would be looking for. So either the funder loses interest, the funding runs out, the program shuts down. And there are literally hundreds of examples of that in Canada over the last 50 years. So what we're trying to do is make it safe and sustainable, allow the technology to do what technology can do in terms of matching, but we also have a team of social workers with experience in intergenerational home share who are there to help through the sign-up process, and of course help if any challenges come up in the relationship along the way.
Rylan, you must be afforded the great privilege of hearing so many success stories out of this.
It's been really beautiful. There's a few key moments that will always stick out to me. We made our first match in August in Barrie, Ontario, and our first match was a young woman from Ghana who had never left Ghana and was coming to Canada and going to Barrie, Ontario for post-sec. We picked her up from the airport. She was trying to figure it all out. We took her up to her host's home. The host opens the door and goes, "Welcome home, Lillian." That was a beautiful moment.
Right.
The other beautiful moment was watching an interview with one of our matches where the student talked about how meaningful it was for them to be connected to someone, in his words, who knows what it's like to live in Canada. We've had our matches help their students find jobs. We've helped our matches find the best place to go get affordable groceries. We had a match who looked for a culturally appropriate grocery store for her student. We're giving these students a leg up. We're giving these older adults an opportunity to share their knowledge and their wisdom and their experience. Once again, it's a win-win.
This sounds like a beautiful thing, and I'm so glad that you're bringing this here to Newfoundland. You find yourself here tonight at a poker tournament raising money for the Healthcare Foundation of Newfoundland. Tell me what that means for you.
So the idea for Spaces Shared actually came out of a consultation that I did on student mental health in Ontario. And I spoke with student leaders from across the province. Didn't matter if they were in the north, in the south, in the east, or in the west, in a large municipality, in a small rural region. Everyone had housing as a top priority. And one student leader said to me something quite obvious, but for me quite profound. He said, you know, when we talk about mental health, we so often talk about therapeutic interventions. But the reality is you can't counsel me out of food, economic, or housing security. You've got to meet my basic needs. So for us, we're trying to, through Spaces Shared, help more people get that basic need met But it's just as critical once those basic needs are met that the supports in the community and in the province are available to folks who are dealing with more significant mental health challenges.
Well, listen, I have to tell you, it's an absolute honor to be in conversation with you. You're doing fantastic work, so important on so many levels. We really appreciate you being here tonight. Thanks.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Cheers.